Okay, we are going to work on shooting the rapids. A lot of you guys have already played page 1, so we're going to start with page 2. Okay, this is the slow part. When they shoot the rapids, they go down. In Colorado, they do whitewater rafting. That's the picture on the front. So the song starts off real fast, and then the middle section is slow where the rapids are calm and you're just going, and then all of a sudden here come the rapids again and it gets fast again. Okay, so when we look at page 2 and we look at the treble clef, you've got 2 space notes. So of course you're going to figure out what those notes are. If you can't name them by sight very quickly, use your saying. F-A-C-E spells face. So F-A, the bottom note is A, and it's a skip, F, A and C. And it says fingers 2 and 4. So make sure you have a 2 on the A and a 4 on the C. We're going to play just the right hand. If you need to pause the video and practice it a little bit, if you're playing this song, you can probably read notes pretty well already. Probably don't need a whole lot of help with it, but you can always play along with me. You can rewind and keep playing along with me, or you can pause and practice on your own. So let's try it together. There's 4 beats in a measure, so I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, right hand only. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, stop. Now, could you keep up with me? If you could, that's great. If you didn't, you need to pause the video and play it however old you are. If you're 10 or 12, if you're 12 years old, you need to play that line 12 times. Now, there's only one tricky thing. If you noticed, every time we moved our hand, it was fingers 2 and 4, okay? So, fingers 2 and 4 every time. Let's see if I can get it. And then it's still 2 and 4. It walks down, and then it skips down, up 1, and then, where does it go? C is on the bottom, okay? And then it goes up 1 to D, and then it skips down, B, C. Okay, so if you need to stop and practice it, you can pause the video. There's one thing at the end in the last measure we didn't do. We didn't do the dynamics of this line, so we're going to do it one more time. It starts off MP, which means mezzo piano. It's very soft. And it ends on the last measure. It says S, F, and Z. What is that? Sforzando. It's like a surprise at the end of the line. So we're going to start off soft. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now, did you hear how loud I was on the last one? That's what you're supposed to do. If you kept up with me, let's take a look at the left hand. If you didn't and you had a little trouble, pause the video, practice it yourself, come back on, try to play it with me again. If you're ready to move on, we're going to do the left hand of page 2. Okay, the bottom note is an A, and the top note is a skip above middle C, E. And your hand, this one, it's almost 1 and 5 every time, okay? Not the last measure, it changes, but it moves the same way the other one does. So we start with A and E. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2. 1, 2. And go to G sharp. Okay, do sharps go up or down? Sharps go up. So it's a D and a G, then make that G go up to the black key. Play G sharp with me. Make sure you're playing the right note. It sounds the same as mine. Okay, now what you could think of is the bottom note if you want. I'm going to say the bottom note every time we move our hand on this. And you can say the bottom note too, okay, out loud as you're playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, G, E, F, C, D, D. Here comes that D and G sharp. Okay, Now if you need practice on that, pause the video or try again with me. When you're ready to move on, restart the video. We're going to do hands together. And I'm also going to go to the next line. Now, it's also got a pedal. So if you have a piano or a keyboard with a pedal, we're going to add the pedal. But remember, every time you see the little mark, see you have the pedal line underneath the bass clef. And every time you see that little thing that looks kind of like a triangle, that's where you lift your foot up and push it right back down so it doesn't sound blurry. Remember, you're using your right foot on the right pedal with your heel on the floor at all times. Don't lift your heel up, okay? You're only lifting the top of your foot and putting it down. The bottom of your foot doesn't go anywhere, okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot to play soft. Skip. 2, 3. Move your hands back. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that last measure on line 2 is usually the one that gets everybody. So that one I would say to practice separately. And right after that measure, you have these 2 lines at the top of the treble clef and the top of the bass clef. That means silence, nothing, like a dramatic pause, okay? Like, oh, is it over? No, because then it goes on. Let's take a look at that last measure, second line with the right hand, C and E. And then your thumb goes down. Try that. Okay, now when you get that, let's do the left hand. It's the 4th finger on E and the thumb on A. Play those together. Ready? Play. E and A, 2nd finger to G sharp. And just practice that a few times. Then we'll do hands together. Ready? Play. 2, 3. Okay, if you need work on that, stop the video and like I said, play line 2 however old you are. Or if you're having a lot of trouble with that last measure in line 2, just play that one over and over and over and over and over. Okay, before I play the 1st and 2nd pages, if we look at line 3, it starts like the beginning. Oh, so we know this. Woo! Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the beginning. I'm gonna go not too fast because we'll do it faster later. I'm gonna kind of go a medium speed, but when you have this down real good, it will be faster. Okay, don't forget at the end of page 1, there is a repeat, an octave higher. So I'm gonna play page 1, I'm gonna repeat it. You're gonna play with me. Then we're gonna go to page 2, we're gonna slow way down, and then we're gonna stop and work on page 3, okay? So let's see if we can play pages 1 and 2 together. 1 and 2 and 3 and. so that's the first 2 pages. Did you keep up with me? If you didn't, rewind and keep playing and keep playing. Or if there's a certain spot, if you're having a lot of trouble switching from page 1 to page 2, you need to practice moving your hand into that position on page 2 so you know where you're going. You're going to an A position. The bottom note on page 2 is an A. The bottom note of the right hand is an A. Okay, we're going to move on to page 3. All right, this one is just a lot of patterns. If we look at line number 1, the bottom note is an A. It's bi-middle C, the left hand A. So let's play that A. Play it with me. Make sure you're playing the right A. Now look at the next line, line 2. Oh, wow. The left hand has a treble clef, but it's still an A, F-A-C-E, but it's a higher A above middle C. So you're going to have to shift your hand and play your pinky on a higher A. Let's hear that one. Do we match? Did you get it? Look at the next line, line 3. Is that by middle C, above middle C, or is it back by below middle C? It's back in the bass clef, below middle C. It's just a skip below middle C. So there's this A. Okay, now let's look at line 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, this is the lowest A we've played so far. It's a low A, so shift your hand down here. Okay, so every time a line starts, your pinky is on A. It's just a different A every time, okay? Let's go ahead and start on on page 3. It's the same as the beginning. It's not hard. It's just in different octaves. It might be here. It might move up an octave or down an octave. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and... right there. Remember, if your left hand starts on A, your right hand starts on A. They mirror each other, right? They're in the same hand position. If the left hand shifts down to F, guess what? Right hand follows, also shifts down to F. So remember, whatever the left hand starts on, the right hand starts on also, okay? Now, where we stopped, we're going to look at this pattern. So we were on line 1, 2, 3 on the last measure of line 3. It's a low A down here. We're going to play the left hand, and we're going to start there, and we're going to keep going, okay? Just the left hand, though. Ready, play. 1 and rest, rest. Now, the next one is an A, but it doesn't go to E. Your thumb is going to shift up 1. Great big dogs fight, F. The pattern here is A, E, A, F, A, E, A, F. Okay, and then, oh my goodness, you look at the next note at the end of the next line. Woo, that thing is low. But I bet you can guess what it is. It's an A. It's the same thing. A, E, A, F, A, E, A, F. Okay, so it's really just the same thing, but an octave lower. So it looks real tricky, but it's not real tricky. And remember, if you have any questions, remember your hands are going to follow each other on the patterns, but if you're practicing and you're stuck, you can either videotape it and send me a video clip, or you can just text me a question. Hey, Miss Teresa, I need help with this. And remember that we can also FaceTime and Skype while we are not having school or lessons. While we're doing the online lessons, we can always FaceTime and Skype, and I can check everything. So let's go to line 1, 2, 3, line 3. We're going to start with the last measure, okay? We're going to do both hands. We're going to go really slow. When the left hand goes AE, the right hand goes AE. When the left hand goes AF, the right hand also goes AF, okay? If you need to pause the video and practice this, you can. I mean, you can go through it with me one time, and you might need to pause and practice, okay? It says MP. We're on the measure that has the M and the P. Try to keep your eyes on your music. It is tricky because you have to look down. Your hand is moving a lot. If you look down, try to look back up. So